Well, it's good to see you children this morning. Today I'm going to tell you a story about an animal that I saw recently up in our house in Weimar, California. Have any of you been to Northern California? No one, a few people in Northern California. Well, we live up in the mountains in Northern California, and there is a mommy bear and some baby bears that like to come to our house, and they like to eat our blackberries. And they're someone that when you have a mommy bear with baby bears, you want to stay away. In fact, they can be very protective of their little bears. But I'm going to tell you a story that happened when I was about Amanda's age. We were in Yellowstone National Park, and it was time for us to go to bed. We had come in the evening. Actually, it wasn't Yellowstone. We had just come from Yellowstone. This was in Yosemite National Park. And we had just come in after dark, and we had to put up our camper there. And then we had our vehicle next to our camper, and we were getting ready to go to bed. All the lights were off. There was no lights in this camp. This is before they had lights in Yosemite National Park. And there was a noise that was right outside our camper. And my sister, who was older than me, said, "What's that?" And I said, "It's a bear, Janice." She says, "Neil, don't say that. That's not funny." I thought it was funny because she was afraid of bears. And there was more noise. And she said, "Something's going on." I said, "It's a bear." She says, "Don't say that." And finally, my dad says, "Neil, get the flashlight, shine it out there, see what's going on." So we had a little Suburban there. We took the flashlight, and I showed it there, and I couldn't see anything in the Suburban. It was all black. Then I looked behind the Suburban, and there were some chairs that came flying out of the Suburban. And I realized that that black I was seeing in the Suburban was a bear inside our Suburban. And it was eating our food. It had gone through a big bucket of peanut butter, and it had been eating our cookies. Now, what were we going to do? One of the things that bears don't like, what do you think? What would you have done?
Run and scream for your life.
Run for your life. Put a fire. Well, stay in hiding. Well, we had learned that a good thing to do to get bears to leave the area is make lots of noise. And the best way to make lots of noise is to take pots and pans together and bang them. And so we went right outside our camper and we started banging pots and pans, and it slowly backed out of the Suburban, kind of looked toward us this way, and then it just lumbered off. What had happened is that night, when it came time to shut the Suburban door, there was a door like this, and then a door like this, and instead of this door being shut first, the other door was shut first so it couldn't latch. And so that bear smelled food, and it opened up the door because it wasn't latched and went in. It turns out it was my fault that the door wasn't shut right. And so the next day, it was my job to clean out that Suburban. There was a half inch of dirt through the whole bottom of the Suburban. Bears are pretty dirty. They look fuzzy, but they can be actually filthy. And there's a lesson in that. One of the lessons is, don't joke with your sister about things to scare her, because in reality, you might be the one being scared. But there's another lesson as well, and that is when it comes to the wild animals around, it's good to be safe. And then the Lord can actually protect us, even from beasts. And I'm glad that our guardian angel was there to protect us from that beast. It got a meal, and it caused me about 4 hours of work the next day. But I am happy that I'm still here in front of you and can tell you that story. You can go back to your seats.